Good morning, everyone, all the way from Bahrain, and welcome to the third episode of the Toast Area 2 podcast. Dear viewers, this unique podcast of Area 2 is hosted by our Assistant Area Director, Club Growth, Toastmaster Fazila Nasruddin. Like me, Toastmaster Fazila is also so excited introducing our guest for today. So let me not be the culprit in between our host and the guest. And let me pass the control to our host, Toastmaster Fazila, so she can introduce and welcome our guest and continue with this podcast. Toastmaster Fazila, control is all yours.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining our podcast, the Toast Podcast. This podcast was created to connect the Toastmasters community in District 20 and Bahrain. Each episode, we are joined by a member of Toastmasters who will talk about their honest experiences in Toastmasters and themselves. I am Toastmaster Fazila Nasruddin, the main host of this podcast. Our guest today is a captivating soul with curly hair and a zest for life. She joins us all the way from Iraq. She's a foodie at heart. She loves savoring delicious flavors. Born on the same day Princess Diana passed away, Nawara is a gracious and compassionate woman. Her architectural engineering degree shows her intelligence and attention to detail. As a teacher, she nurtures Toastmasters. She nurtures her students. Toastmasters ignited Nawara's passion for teaching and empowering others. She also owns a successful handbag and accessory shop. She's none other than Toastmaster Nawara Al-Awqati. Hi, Toastmaster
Hi,
Nawara.
Fadila. Thank you so much for having me today on your podcast. And let me just say, when you first sent me the message saying you want me to be part of your podcast, I was so happy because I'm a person who really loves and enjoys listening to podcasts. So thank you for having me today on your podcast. And also thank you to DTM Khalid for suggesting me to be here today.
I am so glad you can benefit from this podcast. I would love to ask you, how has your journey in Toastmasters been?
My journey in Toastmasters, there's no specific word to describe it, but it was absolutely a journey that I am so happy to be continuing. It's a journey that I never wanted to end. I was just saying that in my last speech that I did in my pathway, the first pathway that I finished. It's not about saying goodbye, but it's always saying hello to new beginnings. The thing about Toastmasters, what makes it so special for me, it's never ending. The grow is never ending. So I started being a regular member in Toastmasters at Erbil, and in Iraq we weren't part of a district yet. We kept on growing until we became part of it of District 20, and I could never have imagined that I would become the first area director from Iraq joining in District 20. So it's been absolutely an amazing journey that I never wanted to end.
That's actually like amazing to hear because I hear that Iraq and Toastmasters is quite new, and to hear that you're one of the first area directors is amazing. So, how long have you been a member and a valued member of the Toastmasters community?
I have joined Toastmasters and become a member since 2017. I actually was invited by one of the past members in Erbil International Toastmasters Academy. He is a family friend, actually. I didn't know at the time. I was second year student of architectural engineering. So anyway, my mom came to me, said, Nawara, we're invited to something. There's a competition, Iraq and Erbil. I don't know what's going on, but let's go and attend. I was like, okay, let's go. We went there. I'm actually a person who does not like to mingle with anyone. So my mom sat there in the front row because of our family friend. I sat in the back. It was actually a competition going on between Erbil Toastmasters and Baghdad Toastmasters. We had done it internally because at that time we weren't part of a district yet. Anyway, the competition ended, the winners were announced, and then my mom was so mesmerized and captivated that we had such thing in Iraq and we don't know about it. She asked when was the second meeting, the upcoming meeting, and we went and attended. And from that meeting on, we were members.
Okay, so that's what initially sparked your interest in Toastmasters, right?
Well, actually, it was my mom. For me, if you left it up to me, I would have never become a member. But my mom's like, no, let's join. And she went and paid the membership fees that day. And I was just also saying it the other day in my speech. If it weren't for my mom, I don't think I could have found the leader that is in me. Because if she wasn't the one who pushed me to join Toastmasters, I don't think I would have been with you today.
Nice. You mentioned that Toastmasters also played a pivotal role in your discovery of your passion in teaching. Could you elaborate on that specific instance in Toastmasters that led you towards this career path?
Well, Toastmasters, let me just say, I joined in 2017 and I was just a student back then. I graduated in the year 2020, and Toastmasters have been with me through all of these parts of my life. Since I started university, everyone was telling me, Nawara, you're going to follow in your mother's footsteps and become a university lecturer or a teacher, or anything related to teaching and working with students. And I was like, no, that will never happen. I do not like teaching. It's not who I want to be, and so on. Toastmasters, the thing that is so special about Toastmasters is that you learn and others learn from you. So I grow and the people around me grow up with me. And everyone has nurtured me and taught me and kept mentoring me in such a subtle way in my life that I kept on growing and changing without me finding out. One day, 3 years ago, I didn't have a job back then. I was sitting in my room. I was working on an architectural project. I got a phone from a friend saying, Nawara, there's a position opened in a school. Can you please come and interview? That day she told me that you have to come in now. I told her I can't. I'm working. I have a commitment. I cannot come today. She said tomorrow at 8 a.m. you have to be there. I told her okay, I would be. I think part of the acceptance was to this school is actually Toastmasters. The school is an international American school, and I think when they heard Toastmasters and international, based from the US, I think that sparked something in them. Anyway, I went and interviewed. I came back home. I told my mom and my sister I was accepted to be a grade 1 math teacher. My mom and my sister just sat back and they're like, you, a grade 1 teacher, you do not have any patience. You do not like children. How are you going to do this? And I think Toastmaster is actually the thing that taught me how to be patient around children, how to work with them, to have that discipline, to control my emotions, my, let's say, patience, the thing to not spark that anger in me, to learn how to control it, how to be poised. It's actually what Toastmasters have taught me. And Toastmasters, I always say, being on stage is the place where I truly find myself. So being able to teach the students and my children, the children and my students on how to gain that basic skills, because I don't think everyone is fortunate like I am to find Toastmasters in life. So trying to give that to them is really something amazing, and I would love to continue my entire life.
That's nice. So, aside from the challenge you faced as a teacher when it came to being patient with students and learning how to discipline yourself through Toastmasters, What are some other challenges you faced as an educator, and how has Toastmasters equipped you to effectively navigate these challenges?
Well, that's a really good question. The thing about the, let's say, the generation today, especially the generation after the 2000s. I'm not saying before the 2000s everyone's perfect, but especially that generation, because for me, I feel they lived a whole other in a whole other time. They say the 90s kids, I'm one of the 90s kids. We're so fortunate to have lived in both parts in the 90s and then going back to the recent days, which is the 2000s. The way that they think and the way that look at life is completely different from um, the way that we were raised and we grown up. Theirs is completely different. So they think that it's not always important to study, it's not always important to work. They say they think that everyone that they will get that chance in life, like Mark Zuckerberg or any other, let's say these days, that billionaires, millionaires, they will become like them. They will have that spark, and everyone they will make it. But that's not always the case. They made it because they have discipline, they worked on themselves. Maybe they didn't study, but they had an idea, they worked towards it. These days, they are, let's say, a bit lazy to do so. So I'm always trying to teach them and not just, let me say, impose my idea, telling them, no, this is what you have to do. No, this is what you have to do. Toastmasters have taught me that everyone is different. Our minds work in different ways. The other person is completely different than I am. I might understand something with a spark. For others, and maybe it needs 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. So I always try to give them the idea, give them the basic, and let them work from there. Let them impose their own ideas, what they want, what they actually need in their life, not just what I think.
Okay, interesting. In addition to your passion for teaching, have you made any other significant self discoveries as a result of your involvement with Toastmasters?
Yeah, well, since I was a little girl, I tried a couple of times to, let's say, write stories and come up with something, but that never continued. Toastmasters helped me find that thing again. Unfortunately, I didn't go back to writing again, but writing speeches in Toastmasters, and thank God to my evaluators and everyone in my club and everyone around me has seen that thing in me, is that I'm good at writing speeches. So I may not be so fortunate to go back to writing stories because I do not have that imagination for stories. But having something to write or wanting something to say is, Toastmasters sparked that thing back in me, and I found that I can write actually very well, and it's something that I really enjoy. So coming up with speeches, I am telling you, every time I have a speech, I struggle with coming up with an idea. But once I have it, it's all downhill from there. It's very easy. I just need to sit down for maybe half an hour to gather all my ideas on a paper. And even sometimes people tell me, Nawara, you're an experienced Toastmaster now. There's no need for you to sit down and write a speech. But I'm like, no, my mind works in a different way. I need to sit down and actually write it for me to enjoy the part of me writing something that I want to say.
This is great advice for me as well because I also really like writing, but because of how busy my schedule is now, I dropped it. I do actually feel just like you relieved to write speeches on a piece of paper.
I actually saw that something when you sent me yesterday the opening for our podcast today. It kept me smiling, and you highlighted some things about me that I could never have known it can be highlighted in such way. So I really do encourage you to keep on going. It's really amazing. I love everything that you said and you described. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you for the nice compliments. In what ways do you incorporate the skills and knowledge gained from Toastmasters into your career as a businesswoman?
And my business. Oh, I actually started my business after I joined Toastmasters. Also, my mom is my hero. She's the biggest supporter in my life. Without her, I wouldn't be anywhere in life today, whether it's, let's say, education wise, business wise, mind wise, everything wise, I wouldn't be who I am. And I think of myself, the the best one of my brother and my sister who actually represents my mom in the way that she thinks and the way she acts. So the whole credit goes back to my mom. But as I was saying, those masters have really taught me discipline and how to control my emotions. As you said in the beginning, I am a person who has really a zest for life, and I'm a really loud person. I express my emotions in the most loudest way you can think of. I'm a person who has a really loud voice. So Toastmasters have helped me to control that. I tend to, I don't want to say yell or scream, but I have a loud voice. And every emotion, I express it in the loudest way you can think of. So being angry is one of the parts of my personality. So Toastmasters have really taught me how to be poised. And I actually got that feedback from one of my Toastmasters fellows in Arabic Toastmasters. Her name's Haneen, actually. She taught me, Nawara, you have, especially in the past 2 years, your, let's say, discipline and behavior has changed tremendously. You have become such more a calmer person. How did you do that? And I think it goes back to Toastmasters. It has really taught me discipline. So working with my own business, I am dealing with customers, and I talk with them over the phone by chatting. It's ordering online and in store also. So that really has taught me to, because customer working with a person is lots different than handling a customer. A customer sometimes might not like the product or might not like the price, and they tend to express that in different ways. Some people might be very nice with the way that they say things. Some people, I'm sorry to say, they are rude. So those masters have taught me to be calm and understand that each person is different than the other, and I need to have the same attitude with a rude person or with a nice person. I have to be in the middle and poise myself and always say everything that I need to say with a smile on my face.
Are there any milestones you would like to achieve at Toastmasters?
There are so many. There are so many. But being an area director, actually, it was never part of my plans. But thanks to DTM Abdullah Khalid, as I was saying, there are so many people in Toastmasters that I wouldn't be here without them today, and especially DTM Khalid Abdullah. He has mentored me. He's my personal mentor, and he has nurtured me and taught me. And he actually was the one to push me to nominate myself to be an area director. So this is a milestone that I didn't have in the back of my mind, but thanks to him, I'm here because of him today. And right now, the next milestone I'm working on is um, having my DTM, the Distinguished Toastmaster. So this is a milestone that I would like to achieve. And hopefully I know I will do it with all the help from everyone in District 28. Everyone has been so supportive, and to this specific group of people, I cannot say thank you enough. So what is so special about District 20 is that when you become part of their family, you have a whole family in your back that you do not know of. But whenever you turn around looking for help, you'll find someone there. So yeah, thanks to them, I'm hopefully going to get through every milestone that I would like to achieve.
So the next time I hear about Toastmaster Nawara, I want to hear them say it's DTM Nawara. I would love to see that happen. So now for our final question, What advice would you give to someone who is considering joining Toastmasters?
The first thing that I would say, go for it. Please do. Because Toastmasters, I always say that. What is so special about Toastmasters is that it changes you, it helps you grow, but it happens in such a subtle way that it does not change the personality, it does not change who you are, but it only makes you better. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it's there's something that I have noticed this entire time. I am still me. I am still Nawara, who has that zest for life. That is a crazy person that expresses herself in the loudest way you can think of. But at the same time, I know how to handle myself in different situations. It has helped me to approach people and be more social. And trust me, I'm still that person that would rather sit in the back of the room and not meet anyone and not say hello. But when I need to, I know how to do it. So yeah, just go for it. Toastmasters is so special. And when you find Toastmasters, know that you are fortunate to have known what this is. And it would only take you to greatness. It will only help you find things that are hidden in you. You haven't found it yet, and it will help you find it. One thing that back when I joined in 2017, there was a member with us. Unfortunately, she's not here anymore, but I maybe she will see this podcast. Her name is Nian. Anyway, when we met Nian, when I met her back in 2017, she was an amazing person, so social, and wanted to say hello and meet everyone, a great public speaker. Anyway, my as I was saying, my mom is a university lecturer. She went and interviewed there, and my mom was so amazed of Nian and how great she was. She was talking to another person who actually knew Nian before she joined Toastmasters. My mom was describing Nian to him, and he was like, "Is this the same Nian? Because that Nian couldn't say hello, she couldn't present herself, and she was not actually accepted for the job because of her skills. Is she the same person that you are talking about?" And actually, yes, she was. So Toastmasters have helped her to become from this person that is so shy, she can't represent herself, to a person who was actually so amazing that the same person who had met her couldn't know that she's the same person. So go for it. You are fortunate to know what is Toastmasters, and it will only take you to greatness. So please do go for it. And let me just add, although Toastmaster Fadila, you want to say something. In Toastmasters, I always say it's a family everywhere, wherever you go. Although in District 20 we are four countries, we live on different sides, and the two persons that are with me today in this podcast, Toastmaster Fadila and Toastmaster Khalid, we have never met in person. And this is actually the first time I'm seeing Toastmaster Fadila. It's online, but it's a family wherever you go, whether in Bahrain, in Kuwait, in Iraq, in Egypt. And I actually last year I had a trip to Jordan. I just sent a message saying I'm from Arbil Toastmasters and I would like to join. Everyone was so welcoming. Even I live in Arbil. I went to Baghdad. The first time I went there, it's a family everywhere. Everyone will make you feel welcomed, and you will never feel like you are actually meeting this group of people for the first time. So it's a family. It's something so special that I couldn't go on and on and on about it, but have your own experience. So please do join.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Nawara Al-Awqati. It was so lovely to have you on and listen to your insights. If I have to recap the points of the episode, you said you used to be a person who did not like to mingle with people, but now you do. The prestige of Toastmasters gave you a boost in your career. Toastmasters also taught her how to be patient and a disciplined leader. It brings balance to your life. If anyone in the audience wants to improve your leadership skills and you're thinking of Toastmasters like Toastmaster Nawara says, go for it. We're only going to do that. I hope our listeners found this episode insightful. This has been the third episode. Please share this video with your friends, family, and especially other Toastmasters. Thank you all for joining us. Please like and subscribe to our podcast and follow us on social media to stay updated. Now, our DTM Khalid Jalal will take the mic. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Fazila and our guest Toastmaster Nawara being with us. Why don't you turn on your camera so we're all in the same frame together? And I will share what I learned about Toastmaster Nawara today. So today, while she was speaking, I was taking a few notes. She has her mom as her hero. And it's her mom who brought her, actually encouraged her, motivated her to join Toastmaster. And it will be a history for her that she's the first area director from Iraq. Whenever people talk about the Toastmaster history in Iraq, teaching professional, and what you learn from Toastmasters is the tolerance, patience, working skills, your potential of writing has improved. And I think the way you're speaking, the way you express your writing passion, you can challenge to be one of those contestants who can be on the red carpet of the International Speech Forum in TI. So I wish you all the best in your future journey. It was great to hear from you, and we wish you from Area 2 and the family of Toastmaster International, and we extend all our help and support in your journey for your DTM. You have helped many, and we love to extend our help to you. And you also mentioned that you have been to Jordan, and we also welcome you to Bahrain. It's your own family. Do visit us, and it will be exciting moment for all of us to host you in Bahrain in person as well very soon, whenever possible. So with that, we have come to end of our third episode of the Area to podcast, and I'm sure Toastmaster Fazila has something to share before we adjourn the podcast. Yes, Toastmaster Fazila.
Yes, I would like to share our certificate as a thanks of appreciation to Toastmaster Nawara for coming to our podcast. So let me show you the certificate.
Oh, great.
This is your certificate, and I'll be sending it to you soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Now back to DTM Khalid to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you very much. With this, we have come to end of our third episode of the Toast Area 2 podcast. And with that, we adjourn the meeting officially. Meeting is adjourned.